Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for doing this, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's sunny where you are. Where are you?
It's just a lamp.
Oh, it's I was like, whoa, I thought we were in the same city. Cool.
We
Very
are.
cool.
I'm a little north of you if you're in Santa Fe.
Yes, that's correct. I'm in Santa Fe. So cool. Very awesome. Let me just adjust this for just a second. Is there anything that you don't want to talk about?
Uh,
I mean, we're going at this
I'm,
point. If you, how about this?
I'm,
If you don't
I'm, a,
talk about it, go ahead.
I'm an open book. But what were you gonna
Okay.
say?
I was just gonna say, if there's anything you totally are fine to like, you know, fuck you. I'm not gonna answer that question. That's totally fine.
Oh well, I won't say fuck you. I'll just change the subject.
Totally cool. Yeah, very nice. Take the political route. Like, oh, you know what's worse than bridges and tunnels? Let's talk about climate change. Yeah, no, I don't know. Anyways, cool. We can get started if you're ready.
Sure.
Okay. Why don't we start with just introduce yourself and tell us what you do for a living?
My name is Jenna Hensley,
Uh-huh.
and I currently work for Instacart full time, and I also have my real estate license.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Did you start working for Instacart due to uh, unforeseen circumstances? How did you get into that?
Yes, I mean, I was a bartender for about 10 years and I was working at the Buffalo Thunder Red Sage restaurant
Hmm.
until one day I was not. And I was like, they gave me a letter saying I'm furloughed. And then we all went to terminated. And like right away, I was like, I'm going to go get a job because like I need an income. I have bills. What the fuck? I don't know what to do. I gotta pivot, figure something out. And I had my real estate license by this point, but I had no idea how to use it. And I still kind of don't. Like I'm still, year two with that. But I went into Instacart because I found it on Craigslist, and I was like, I really like shopping, and I don't have a boss, and I just sign into an app, and I'm a gig worker. Like, sign me up. Sounds great. So I've actually been doing it for a year now, and I make great money doing it, and I love it. So
It,
yeah.
it totally seems like the time for it, like to pivot from bartending, where like I would, I would assume I haven't really. I need to get a server bartender on here and see, what it's like currently with the pandemic going on. But I would
Well, I mean,
assume,
it's different state to state, right? Like my homies down in Texas are like pouring drinks and, nothing's really changed. And then here it's like, how dare you even consider going out to eat? Everyone's, dying. And there's this like whole different outlook on it. And I listened to some of your podcasts. I happen to agree. Like, this is just part of what's going to happen now. We just have to kind of like work with it. Like, I mean, that, it is what it is. I'm all for everyone being safe, but crazy enough, like, I actually like this job better than bartending. So, it's, I get to like travel to people's houses instead of them come sit at a bar and like gab with me. I don't talk as much, but
I was
it
gonna
is
say
fun.
you probably give it back to them. Like you become like an annoying regular. You're just like lingering around a little too long at people's houses. Like, okay, I got my stuff now. You can go. You're like, oh, so anyways, tell me
We'll
what.
get to chatting, and I'm just like, so I have another order in the car, and their ice cream's melting. Gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, that's always a
Yeah.
good out. Oh, I have another order. Your car's just completely empty. I gotta go.
Well, I'll be like someone that people like the first person they're seeing after not seeing people for like 6 months of hiding out in their house, and they're live in the hills, and they've got enough money to order Instacart and pay that extra fee to have it delivered, and so occasionally they will come out and chat with me and be like, "What is it like in the outside world?" And I'm just like, pretty normal. Just wearing a mask and gloves these days.
Yeah, rich people are so out of touch.
So out of touch, Santa Fe. What the hell? Just kidding. Y'all pay my
Oh,
bills. Act however you want.
yeah, exactly. I can't really complain. I was a bartender in the service industry for like 20 years before um breaking off maybe 3 years ago or so, and doing like a regular 9 to 5. So I feel you when it's like, oh yeah, I was bartending and that was great for a good amount of time, but I can't imagine what that would look like right now. I'd be Instacarting. Like that's exactly
Well, and
that would be
all
my
of us at the grocery stores, like right away, we were all like, server, bartender, what's up? Like, we all, at this point, the people who have stuck around doing Instacart, we kind of give each other that, like, keep going, boss. I see you out there shopping, getting it
yeah.
done, paying your bills, and like, we give each other that respect nod. But we all did come from restaurants and like, one of my favorite Instacart shoppers in Santa Fe, he was a process server, and like he all of a sudden didn't have things to serve, and so he ended up doing that. And I've just met a lot of really cool people doing it. And occasionally, like, you get the drifters. There's people who like come stay with a mom or a friend, and they're like, "Oh, I need some money," so they go out for the week, and then you never see them again.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then there's also, interestingly enough, like Instacart jobs pay pretty well, depending on how good you are. Like, if you can maintain 5 stars as a shopper, because you get rated like an Uber
Uh-huh.
driver, and if
Oh,
you do a bad order and you get somebody, shitty grapes or the wrong tampons or like whatever, they
yeah.
will rate you badly and write nasty things about you. They don't care. They don't have to see your face, and they probably won't ever again. They assume you are going to disappear back to California or wherever you came from. So you have to be like really on top of, making sure that you're communicating with the person, that you're getting them the right items. If you make replacements, you're sending them pictures. And like, I like to try to be funny and sweet and like, make them smile. Like, if they're gonna respond to me, here's my opportunity to like communicate with a human. And I live in the desert, which doesn't happen often. So I do chat with people while I do their orders. They rate me at the end of it. And so if you maintain a high rating, you actually get access to bigger batches. So
Cool.
people that make orders and want to pay a higher tip amount, like they're going to send me to Sam's Club. I'm going to lift like cases of this and toilet paper and all this crazy stuff, load up my car, and, they're willing to tip 30, $50. Like, I've seen people be pretty generous out here in Santa Fe. They have the funds to do it.
Right.
So those orders go to the 5 star shoppers first. Like, you can't just like sign on to Instacart. There's a little bit of seniority, like if you work a certain number of batches, you get it, it's a community, and there's an online forum and stuff where you can chat with other shoppers in other cities. But each area pays different. Santa Fe, I'm fortunate, like the orders here are better, but I signed on in Georgetown, Texas, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't go to HEB for $11. Like, that's 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, out here, like my orders are anywhere from $25 to I've accepted ones that are 100. And
Cool.
that's what like we call the tunas. Like, we go fishing, we sit out at the in the parking lots where the Wi-Fi is. If you shop, you know this life, right? And you just sit there and like wait and scroll, and you're like, come on, give me a big one. And like the orders come on the leaderboard, and you accept them or you don't, or you go to work or you don't. There's no boss. There's no one looking over your shoulder. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like that whole gig economy, which I love. I hate being like bossed around and scolded for being late. And this job, actually, I'm up at the stores 7:30 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I like
Cool.
the job, and the orders are good in the morning. So
That's so cool.
yeah,
I
better
love that you
rate,
use the
more money.
yeah, man. I love that you use the fishing analogy. What are some
Yeah,
'cause it's totally like I immediately was like, oh, it's totally what it's like. Like maybe you'll catch a big tuna and maybe you walk home with
yeah.
like your pockets turned inside out and you're like,
It's like humbled me, because when I would get one on the line, right? Like, I'm about to swipe accept and it's a $70 order. to, my favorite Sprouts or whatever. And then somebody takes it out because somebody can accept it before you have finalized your swipe. So I'll be like mid swipe, and it's like, we're sorry, this order's gone. And I'm like, I'm gonna wreck. I'm like driving through the intersection, like, no, there goes my money for the day. And then I pull over, and then I get an $80 one. So
Cool.
it's like a roller coaster. I've learned to just like know to park in the right places because it's all about getting quickest internet, which is hard out here in Santa Fe. Like you
Oh
got to have
yeah.
the right provider, and you got to be near the right cell tower. And I have figured this out over time, over losing, bigger batches to lesser shoppers, we'll call them. But yeah, it's a fun game. I mean, I'm like playing a video game and getting paid. It's kind of how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. What are some you mentioned like doing funny things to like keep your customers happy. What are some funny things that you do to maybe get like a decent rating or a higher rating than you normally would? You send them like, oh, you said potatoes here, but this doesn't this one look like Joe Pesci? Do you want russet, the Joe Pesci one, or sweet potatoes?
I'll send them like pictures of me with the item. I'm like, how about this? And they're like, what? Like, what is this girl? She's
Yeah.
crazy. And then I'll add things into their order, like a gift, or I'll buy if I notice that like there's a birthday and they're buying cake mix and maybe some candles, like I'll throw in a balloon. Or if
Cool.
a store is out of something, like a mom is clearly ordering for her family, but they didn't have pizza crust and she wanted to make pizza and we were chatting about it. I feel so bad that I like will go to the next store and go out of pocket, get the pizza crust, come back and later in the day and be like, I know you needed these eggs or I know you needed this pizza crust and here you go. Thank you for using Instacart. Like you are helping me pay my bills. This is
Yeah,
like a big deal for me to have this job because it is. I'm so grateful. Otherwise, I probably had to move home with my parents.
totally. Is that your
Like
puppy? Is
my
your
my
dog?
dog's trying to play with me right now.
Let me see him. What's your dog's name?
Her name is MJ,
MJ. Hi.
like Mary J.
Yeah.
The stuff you smoke.
Yeah. Like the main love interest in the Spider-Man comics, if you're a nerd.
Yes, people say Mary J from Spider Man, Michael Jordan, but I'm
Yeah.
like, it's actually a CBD cannabis enthusiast store in Austin, Texas. Mary J. Shout out, love those ladies. I heard you did a CBD ad, so there's mine.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, Houndstooth.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mary J is a store in Austin, and I used to make bath bombs and sell it to them with CBD in it, and so I named my dog after them. But I sold that business pre-pandemic.
good for you. Right on. Lucrative.
Yeah, it was fun.
What's the? Do you? I assume that like you can see someone's night or afternoon unfolding. Like you kind of mentioned it before. They want pepperonis, mozzarella cheese, tomato sauce, and no out of like do you
Yeah,
can you assume like, oh, okay, these guys are, candles, or they're gonna have a romantic dinner, champagne, whatever, I don't know. Can you kind
totally.
of like
You can apply so much about a human from their Instacart order, and
that?
like some people order only organic stuff from Smith's. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, first of all, y'all know Smith's is not heavy on the organics, right? But they're kind of like price conscious enough to try.
Yeah.
Or like, I've had some weird stuff like, oh, I want some duct tape and some whipped cream, and I'm like, what are y'all doing tonight?
Just personally like checking out at the grocery store, sometimes I'm like, I'm not stoned yet. Like I, trust me, I know what this looks like. I know there's some ice cream and like a pizza or
Yeah,
something. I oftentimes I'm like, this is some of this is going other places. Like this isn't all just for me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And,
yeah,
and I actually say that, and I mean it. I'm like, these are three orders. I'm at work. I swear to God, I don't wear Depends. Like, like, because I'll be getting people's denture creams and like, things that like might be a little embarrassing to check out with. bunch of funky items, but I
Yeah,
started noticing how very interesting Americans eat. And like
totally.
some eat really good, right? They only want organics and they're really raw and they're getting plant-based meats and all this. And then some people, like, no offense, you know who you are, but you're ordering all this frozen shit and it's like, girlfriend, like you can't live on pizza, you know? And they always order. So it's like the same people are like drinking Coke and the same people are wanting like pH water. And so, I started taking pictures of everyone's order when I started. So now my goal is to get like thousands of pictures together and make a mosaic for
Yeah,
and like because there's just it's so interesting to me and I thought that would be cool art, right? So
that's really cool. Yeah, I see some canvases and brushes in the background. You obviously do art as a hobby,
yeah,
or
I mean, when you live in this area for a while, you eventually get sucked into doing some sort of art. It's just such an art town.
absolutely. Yeah, you have to. Exactly. Why
Yeah,
why
I
are we
take
here?
pictures. I went to school for a Bachelor of Fine Arts in theater, so that turned into being a professional Instacart shopper.
I know. It's so sad. Like I'm a thespian, which means I work for Instacart and bartend as well. Like
Yeah, and I mean, I used to make 200, $300 on like a really good bartending night, and
yeah.
I'm making that with Instacart, and it's like
Oh,
in the middle of the day, I'm getting to reverse my schedule. I'm no longer like sleeping all day and hungover and then going to work and then staying up all night and hanging with the wrong people. I'm
yeah.
like getting up early, like shopping for all these wonderful people in retirement and meeting, other working professionals that kind of got thrown to the wayside during the pandemic scramble to find a
Yeah.
job again. But today, hey, restaurants are open again. I can go back if I wanted to.
Is that right? Did they open up
Yeah,
today?
I just saw like an Instagram post from the compound
Uh-huh.
and Restaurant Martine. All those like little foodie hotspots are posting. We're reopening, and I'm like, yes, because no one wants to eat your amazing food out of styrofoam in their car.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the new norm.
I
What's
know.
what's the most uncomfortable thing that you've experienced with Instacart?
I would say at the beginning of the pandemic, like I hate the lines. I hated the lines, so I had to get creative and like I got really into wearing headphones, and now I won't Instacart without them. Because if
Yeah.
someone's gonna start yelling at you at the grocery store, and you're like listening to Dua Lipa, you're like, "Yeah, bitch, get angry!" Like it's very like less taxing on me, and I kind of have like a hard back but a soft front. Like I have thick skin, but there's only so much crazy I can put up with.
Mhm.
So headphones are that barrier for me to like because you get some women getting upset in the grocery store. Like if I'm taking too long in their produce section and it's their time to shop and some Instacart shopper bitch is in the lemons too long, like you're gonna hear about it. So I just try to like tiptoe around those Sprouts and Albertsons, Market Street. Unfortunately, we don't have Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, but you know, maybe someday. Girl can dream.
Yeah.
We got Best Buy, we got Costco, Sam's Club, PetSmart, Sephora, but there is not one in. That's my dream to go pick out someone's eyeliner. I went to Spirit Halloween and bought like a bunch of like severed arms for
Really?
somebody. It was like the most random Instacart ever, and I just had I had a blast. I bought all these like dead body parts and set up a little like Halloween thing in their yard for them, and then left.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, it was cool bringing the holidays to people out here because people are staying home and ordering Thanksgiving in and ordering, Christmas food in and birthdays in, and that's all easily done through Instacart. You can get flowers and bubbly and cakes and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, have you ever been scared at work? Have you ever been like, oh, geez, like pull up to an old haunted mansion, very like sitcom-y kind of like
Yeah,
I've,
a lot of these houses are kind of underground. Like some of these people do not want people to know where they live. They don't want their their number out on the street. So you sometimes I'll pull up and I'm like, I stopped doing it at night because of what you just said. Like I pull up, I can't see anything. I'm out in the desert, out in like I don't know, Tasuke or El Dorado. I don't like to carry while I work. Not that kind of crazy, but I'm pretty fearless. But like night rolls around, and I'm like, I think I'm done. Like I can't find anything because everything's brown. I can't see the address. If you order Instacart and you don't kind of think of your driver, like, okay, someone's about to drop off 30 bags. Maybe
Yeah.
they can't see the sidewalk. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's snowing and they didn't shovel it, or maybe they have their dogs out and they come up and bite you. Like that stuff has happened to me. But I think the scariest is like the Smith's parking lot on Cerritos.
Mhm.
People like homeless people will come up to me and I'm loading my car and ask me for money and like I don't. It's not that I mind that. It's that I'm startled. Like my back is to them and someone's coming up to me and I'm like I've almost hit somebody because I'm like, what are you? Get out of my freaking car! Like I'm unloading. Help! You want some money? Help me! I feel like I'd be attacked out there sometimes. So I try to just do it in the daylight.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good rule of thumb, I think.
Yeah,
Is
I'm a tough girl. Like, fuck with me. I dare you. Like, I'm going well for you. I have some anger. Lost my job. Someone's gonna
yeah,
get
ooh,
punched.
this is therapy for me. Please, please give me a reason. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, generally, it's pretty safe. People are pretty nice, and like, the only time I've ever been messed with is someone like just asking for money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's not too bad.
or
Is
a
there
dog.
anything offensive that like your clients are like have ever said to you, or have you ever encountered anything that was offensive?
No, I mean, I try to be really precautious. Like I'm going in retirement homes, I'm going in people's
Yeah.
houses and I have their groceries and I just try to be really cordial and wear gloves and wear a mask and give them distance and if they want to come out and say hi, like I'm always positive, but I as a realtor have to keep everything political. Like
Yeah.
everything needs to be kosher. And if you need a realtor, here's my card. And like, it's honestly segued into quite a few leads and transactions where I've been passing out my card when people do want to know who I am. And
Yeah.
so, one lady came out. She was like, "I read your article in the Santa Fe New Mexican, and you're my Instacart driver. Like, what the heck? You're my hero." And so we got to chatting, and now she's referring me, and I'm getting business from her. So hopefully, real estate will take off, and I won't be like grocery delivery forever. But I mean, that it's been the segue, from bartending to like, how do I be a realtor in a place where I don't really know a lot of people. It's a new job for me in the middle of a pandemic where door knocking is like not cool out
Yeah.
here. So this is my way to like door knock with purpose, kind of.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal is like, hi, I want to meet you. I live out here too, and I'm trying to survive. And like, I got this license, and it's really expensive, and I can be your advocate. Give me a call.
Tell me about the article you write in the New Mexican.
So I started writing like right around the pandemic, and I kind of wrote about what we're talking about, like being a bartender, shifting into getting into real estate, and using Instacart as a segue. And if you look at my name on Google, there's like a bunch of articles from the Santa Fe New Mexican. I'm a columnist, so I'm
Cool.
like the Sarah Jessica Parker of Instacart shopping and being a new realtor.
Yeah.
Shopping in the city, It's
Yeah.
like about making it through the pandemic and like working hard and what it's like to be out here and hustle. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do it once a month, and I've been doing that for like 6 months.
Yeah. Once a month seems doable. Like it seems like it gives you enough time to be creative and really
Yeah,
put some
like get some life experience and have some stuff happen, and
yeah.
like I'll write about what's going on with me, what's going on with the market, what's working for Instacart like. Um, I want to be considered essential.
Where are you with like the vaccine? Do you feel safe interacting with people? If you keep like your mask on, have you been vaccinated? Are you going to get vaccinated? How do you feel about
Um,
that?
Instacart actually gives us a pay bump if we go do it,
Cool.
which is nice. And I have not gotten word on like when I can get mine. I'm not against it. I kind of want to like wait till a few people do it.
Yeah.
Like most people, I mean, I hear the Johnson and Johnson one's going to be safer, and then the Moderna, or I don't know much about it. I'm not opposed to it. I get the flu shot every year. Like I'm out in the mix of germs. If anyone's gonna catch something, it's gonna be me. I'm like in the grocery store 10 times a day. I have very low immune system. I'm not like, I mean, I'm healthy. I catch everything. I always get sick every year. So I mean, if I get the flu shot, why not get the COVID vaccine?
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you. I feel the same way. I think that just being a good human, like people should get it, even if you're
Well,
relatively
like
healthy.
I'm handling your groceries. Like anyone needs to be vaccinated. It's probably the girl who picks up your apples.
Yeah. You're like breathing on it and shining it on your clothes. Like, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, like looks good to me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people bring their own bags, and I'm like, oh, like I don't want your. I'm a germaphobe, so when you get me as your Instacart shopper, you are in luck. Like I wear gloves still a year later. Most
Nice.
Instacart shoppers don't do that. I carry hand sanitizer around. I want to, make everyone feel safe and keep my job. But I will say wearing a mask all day can start to just drive me nuts, like with the glasses and like I can't see anything in the store because it
Huh?
fogs up. But it's not so bad. I wear a bra, I wear a seatbelt, and now I wear a mask.
That's great. Got to keep it all safe.
Sometimes I wear a bra, let's be real, not today.
Yeah. Look, I work for myself. All right. I'll wear a bra when I want to.
Right, I mean, today I stayed home and I painted all of my kitchen cabinets, which is another like shit job nobody wants to do, but I did it.
Yeah.
And it took me several weeks, but they look fantastic. I mean, why go spend 20 grand on cabinetry when you can just take it all apart, sand it down, and repaint it and make it look new?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Jenna, can I pause you for just a second?
sure.
Okay. And I'm back. Okay. Cool. Has Instacart taught you anything? Like, are there any lessons that you're like, okay, now I know that most of Americans don't eat necessarily healthy, or like there are people out there that really are conscious about, the environment or whatever. I don't know. Has it taught you any life lessons? Or are you taking anything away from this job, I guess is what I'm.
Totally. If I took anything away from this job and anyone were to ever hear this podcast and learn something, stop buying bottled water for the love of God.
My
Stop
God, I
it.
know. I know. I
People
have
buy it in the caseloads, and I'm like, where do y'all think this goes? Like,
no.
we're
Thank you for
polluting
that.
our planet. We're just shoving it into the ground. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't break down. Like, there's so many awesome, cool, like, you can just buy a regular bottle and keep it. I have had my Hydro Flask for 7 years. And
Yeah.
in 7 years, I haven't bought one plastic bottle of water. And I started working from Instacart. And I'm just like, people don't know. They have
I know.
no idea.
I'm
It's
so
so
glad
good.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I too am like, there's a cap and there's like a plastic thing that the cap adheres to, and then there's the bottle, and then there's the label, and like, how many of these are you drinking a day? Good God, like get a water bottle and like fill it up. I've got the 5-gallon refillable thing. Like if you want filtered water, it's out there. Like just do it on a
And
refillable
I
basis.
just don't think people understand where it leads to. Like, go walk down the Texas coast and then
Yeah,
think about what you're buying and what you're like. It is trash. I mean, I was like hysterically crying. I grew up there. It was so clean and pretty. And now there's just plastic caps and bottles of shit everywhere. And I'm just like, I'm so overwhelmed. I can never clean this up. The only thing I can do is like tell people like, please stop buying bottled water. And I don't try to like lose my tip when it happens.
yeah.
But like, if they come outside, I'm like, hey. hey, if you're in a Hydro Flask, I have a promo code for you. Like if I could get a message out to the populace of like people who order, like there is ways to buy giant jugs of water from Sprouts. You can get like a big ass jug, even if you don't have the dispenser at home and all that. But I mean, I have filtered tap water at my house. I keep filter clean, and I just use the Hydro Flask, and that's been the biggest notice because there is a mass amount of people buying plastic bottled water, and it surprises me. I get it when you're gonna buy a Coke and poison your system, like because you want to mix it with whiskey or like that's your crack. But like I don't get it when it comes to water. So that's been alarming. And then I've learned about all these great new products that I never knew about, like things to eat that people eat, and I'm like, what is seitan? Like what is a
Sounds
rice
really
cake? Yeah. What is this probiotic, what is it called? Kimchi. This
bad.
one lady, she buys out all the kimchi, and I'm just like, I finally bought one. So every time I see someone really into a product, I end up buying it and trying it myself. And sometimes
Cool.
it's a win, and sometimes I'm like, that was a disaster,
Yeah, that person's crazy.
Yeah, like some of the health food stuff, like y'all, I'm out on the $30 inchy seeds. Those made me
Yeah,
puke. The golden berries, oh, gross. But I mean, they're the little rice cakes covered in chocolate have coconut sprinkles. Who knew? And they're so good.
are they really? I was gonna ask, that was gonna be my next question. You sort of just naturally went into it. Is like, what's the top pick then? Like, what have you learned that you're like, oh, I'm a big like chocolate covered raisin person now or whatever because of it?
I'm a big berry snob. I didn't know how delicate finding the best berries is. But I know when these produce trucks roll into town at what stores, and I
Ooh,
know
really?
the purveyors and where they're coming from. And I've learned like at what times the stock boys are willing to like roll out the berries. And in the first load or two, you're going to get the best berries. So at the top, and like the delivery, they want you to see the best berries. So they put them on the top of the pallet, and then those get peeled off. And then under, you kind of shittier and shittier berries, and time goes by, and they start to like, you don't want a soft blueberry, let me tell you. You need that blueberry to be like taut,
Yeah.
and like tight, like a nice firm ass. Like the perfect blueberry. It's hard to find in Santa Fe. It's dry out here. You got to get in at the right time. So if you order produce, order it early. Hopefully you get a very picky female who loves berries. So like
What is
I always have good berries in my fridge, always now, because like I'm just on it with the berries.
Tell me about, I know this is Santa Fe specifically, but like, ooh, tell me the times. Like what's
Oh, you want to steal my berries? Sprouts trucks come in Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, 8
Monday?
a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Occasionally, like a truck will come missing or a truck will come late.
Yeah.
But if you're tight with the produce section as an Instacart shopper, you can like ask them, hey, I know you're out of melons out here, but like, can you help a girl get a melon or two in the
Yeah.
back? And if
Yeah.
they're not, like, I know who to ask and I know who not to ask.
Sure.
And
You
sometimes
can
I
find.
can get stuff that like normal people couldn't. And that's one of the things I do for my people is I like send them a picture. Look, it's sold out. But look, here's me with the product you want in the back. Got it. I got you. I got your back. And they're like, you're amazing.
Can people request you? Can people like, hey, I want.
No, that's like the big, because I would be a wealthy lady, like straight up. I would be busy. People would be like, this is my girl. I want her to buy everything for me. She's got a good, like, I'm a great shopper. I really like shopping. I really do. I'm a hunter, scavenger. So so it's the perfect job, but I can't get requested. And I always tell them like, write Instacart support that you want Jenna, like you don't want anyone else in Jenna. Make sure to rate me 5 stars, obviously, write something nice on my comments. These are things that can help me and keep me around. And I started telling people like, if you gave me a bad rating, I actually know which one it came from because I only do 6 or 7 orders a day.
Mhm.
and I interact with everyone. So if I've gotten one 4-star, and then I got her again, and I was like, hey, I don't know what I did wrong last time, but I'll do anything to make it right. Like, I can't, if you rate me 4 stars, I lose money. Like, I
Mhm.
don't get to see my wealthier clients. I don't get to see my big orders. Like, you're devastating my income. And honestly, what it was between you and I and the rest of the world, she ordered 2 pizzas. She said she only got one. And I'm like, bitch, I took a picture. There's 2 pizzas. So I like submitted it to Instacart. I was like, this person's a liar. She rated me poorly. She said that I didn't get her 2 pizzas because they can like leave comments, and she like only left one pizza. And I was like, you are just, you are the devil, because like I didn't even get a free pizza out of it, like saying I took your pizza and I didn't. Ugh.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to take pictures of the orders on the people that, I'm kind of like, I remember you. I remember
Yeah.
what you said. You
Yeah.
said I got you not enough bananas. Like I have a good memory. It's weird. So remember people's
Hard-
orders, where they live, how they like
It,
their stuff.
it becomes like a muscle that you get really good at memorizing orders, like being in the service industry.
Oh
You
yeah.
you're working that muscle out constantly. Oh my God, you're not gonna write that down? Like, nah, I got it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll take a whole full 6 top, no pin at a steakhouse. I
no
can tell
problem.
you everyone's temperature, how they like their apps, what drinks they want. I mean, I usually call people like, "Hey, here comes Scotch, oh, Michelob's here again." Like we
Yeah,
know what you eat and drink, but
exactly.
sometimes it goes beyond that, and then like, we become friends, or I
Yeah.
become your realtor, whatever the scenario is.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people's like Jack and Coke. Like I see this guy all the time. I don't know his fucking name, but he's Jack and Coke. He's gonna have 3 of them. Then he's gonna order some food from the food
Yep,
truck, and then he's gonna switch to beer, and then he's gonna
yep.
taper off.
His Tinder date's gonna show up. It's not gonna work out. He's gonna hit on me. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you've been to the bar that I worked at. Yeah, that's totally not surprising that you've got a good memory based on like your past um
Yeah,
employment. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I'm
man.
doing more than getting you a margarita. I'm like feeding your family for the week. It's a little bit more, you know. I feel a little bit better about it. And I
Yeah,
kind of needed a kick out of the bar. Like I've been there for so long, and
a-
I was just kind of like, well, what am I gonna do? It's been 10 years. I'm circling the drain over here. It's about to be a lifelong career for me. So Instacart like kicked my butt out of the bar, and I have a great workout too. Like that's not to be forgotten. I mean, I lift kegs in a bar, I run around and clean things, but I was getting kind of chunky back there, like
same.
Instacart, I'm doing steps, like I'm running miles. I mean, I'm losing weight, I'm lifting all kinds of heavy stuff. Like I love taking Sam's Club's orders because I'm like, all the way up to the sidewalk. Here's your tide. Here's your kitty litter.
Your cases of water.
Yeah,
Uh,
no problem. Got this. Oh,
yeah, moving kegs and like running beers and stuff around. I sure it was burning calories, but I was kind of like just putting them back in, like glug glug.
yeah. And the second you're in the kitchen or the walk-in, it's like,
Yeah,
well, it's not
yep.
good.
I think it's the reason why I eat so fast now. My like have dinner with anybody, I'm always like the first one to finish because run I've I've got in the habit of like running into walk-ins or running where I'm out of sight and like just shoveling as much food as I can in my mouth and then coming out like nothing happened.
Yeah. And the same's with Instacart. Like I mean, I live 45 minutes north. I have to drive an hour to even go shop for people. So I'm not coming back till way late at dark. And I eat like little snacks, like a little bird, like I'll have a banana, have some crackers. Like I have, sanitizer and water in my car. And if these grocery stores take the bathrooms away from us, we're screwed. And a few of them have. Like
Oh, I know.
a
Yeah.
few of them have. And I'm like, y'all, I'm peeing on the side of the road. Like somebody's got to let me use the restroom. I understand it's a pandemic, but like my pee's coming out brown these days. Like, it's the desert. It's 30 minutes to any place. So it's like, sometimes when the grocery stores don't let us pee, I'm like, where are these people really going to the bathroom? Because I'm having trouble. Like I come home like a little kid and just move, and I get run into the bathroom every day. It's so bad.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
The struggles are real, but like if you think it's funny and you can laugh with it, it's okay. And if you smoke weed, that helps too.
Yeah. um, Jenna, you're knocking it out of the park. Like you're really, you've been a super easy guest to have on the show. This seems like a really good segue into how we usually end the show, as we usually end with like a poop story. Have you ever pooped your pants? Or do you have like a work related poop story? It doesn't have to be your own.
Like
Some
what
people
kind? I have so many poop stories. Like I could just feed them to you all.
while you sift through like your stories, I can plug our sponsor to give you a couple of minutes. And that's
Okay.
houndstoothcbdco.com. Houndstooth CBD Co. is a herbal supplement for your dog. It's also individually dosed, so you know you're actually getting the amount of medicine that's in the treat. Dogs show you the purest form of unconditional love, so why not help out your sweet pup in need, especially helpful for senior dogs and dogs with achy joints. That's houndstoothcbdco.com. Oh, and you get free shipping on all orders. So it's houndstoothcbdco.com. I'm still kind of like getting used to plugging the commercial, so it's a little rough and
You're a
rusty.
regular Rogan. I love it.
All
Uh,
right. Did you get enough time to?
yeah, I think I pinpointed the most recent one.
You're
It's
just gonna go.
enlightening,
There's so
heartwarming.
many. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
this
so
one's
many
good though. This one's really good.
amazing.
So
Okay.
I'll try to keep it short, but we kind
No
of have to go
worries.
back a little bit. I moved out here with my fiance. We rented overpriced, slumlord situations enough to where we were like, let's buy a place. We bought a place like La Mesilla Espanola area, 100-year-old adobe, septic tank, well, all your typical, hardships of living out in the rural desert. You're on your own systems and everything. I was not a realtor at the time, and we had a realtor, and I won't mention who, but I was not impressed. Total misogynist, threw all my ideas under the bus, pissed me off enough to where I went and got my real estate license. We
Good.
moved in, we were here like 4 days, and all of a sudden I started smelling shit. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with this house? Like, what are we into? And basically, like, they had installed a new septic tank. Some of the plumbing like didn't have backflow, and so from all of our exhausts in our house, all of the septic smells were being pushed up. So it was a new septic tank, so I knew it was my poo. So I wasn't like huffing someone else's poo, but nonetheless,
That
I was huffing poo, okay, for many days. And it takes 3-4 days for anyone to come out and do anything out in these faraway properties. So for 3 days, my yard was being filled up with my own shit, and I was like inhaling it, and it was like everywhere. My clothes, my skin. It was like the worst poo story in the whole world. I was just surrounded in fecal particles. And then they came out and they fixed it and they excavated and they ventilated and they did all this stuff. And out of it, what I learned is the heartwarming part was I became a realtor during this, last year. And I vow to all of my buyers that you will never move into a house and like live in your own poo, because you need a realtor to tell you to snake the pipes with a plumber in your inspections. And like
yes.
that's something we didn't do. So if you snake the pipes, you can kind of get an inside scope of the house. You can tell if it's bellied, cracked, if there's roots coming in, if someone else's shit is all over your lawn. Like a septic tank is a whole nother beast. You have to know what you're doing when you buy one. So I've sold a few Adobe houses with them, and I have saved my buyers thousands of dollars in getting those plumbing repairs and not going through similar experiences. So stay poo free, hire Jenna Hensley, realtor, Keller Williams, Santa Fe.
Very good. Nice work. That's it. I would hire that realtor.
See, you know
Like,
what? You're like, you don't want those problems. We had them. I had to go through it. I had to go through it to learn it, to then turn around and like help other people not.
yeah. Your business card should just be like brown halfway through, and like like you don't want this.
Yeah, like avoid all the shit you can. Holler at your girl.
Then I think that story maybe has the most weight, like the actual volume of shit.
Of shit, yeah. Like it was spewing at one point from a pipe, and so I was like, is that poo? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, yeah. I've heard lots of poop stories. So
Yeah,
congratulations. I think you've got the award for like the most weight, like the most
the most
vol.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah. Really
that's awesome.
good.
I feel good about that. Like, I'm okay with
Jenny, you're a real treat. Thank you so much for doing this. You knocked it out of the park, and I'd love to have you back on if you're willing.
that. Absolutely. Thank you for
Cool.
entertaining people and like showing people how the other half lives.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. You got it. Well, that's it for us. Play us out, Shitty Ukulele.